Most people think visiting Machu Picchu is just about getting there. But what most visitors don't realize is that the visitor circuit you are assigned completely changes what you will see. This is Circuit 3, the lower route, and in this video I will show you exactly what it offers, what it doesn't, and how it compares to Circuits 1 and 2. Welcome to Machu Picchu, one of the new 7 wonders of the world. It is a UNESCO site and the entrance is strictly regulated and limited. They only allow 4,000 visitors a day, and therefore you must reserve your tickets in advance. You can reserve them on internet and you are assigned one of the 3 circuits. It should be noted that you will not have access to any of the other circuits and you will only see certain things. So there is no one circuit that is better than the other. You will see different things on each circuit, but unfortunately you will not see other things. So Circuit 1 and 2 offer the classic postcard views from the above. Circuit 3, which I will be showing you today, shows the lower circuit. It offers something completely different. Circuit 3 places you inside the living heart of Machu Picchu, where priests, nobles, and craftsmen once walked. Before we go any further, here is the most important advice I can give anyone planning a visit to Machu Picchu. Don't think of this place as a single experience. What you see here depends heavily on the circuit you are assigned, the time of the day, and how willing you are to slow down and observe. Circuit 3 isn't about chasing the postcard photo. It's about understanding how Machu Picchu actually worked as a living ceremonial city. Machu Picchu sits nearly 8,000 feet above sea level, hidden between jungle-covered peaks above the Urubamba River. Machu Picchu was built in the mid-1400s during the reign of the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, the ruler responsible for transforming the Inca state into an empire. This was not a major city for the masses. It was a royal estate, a ceremonial center, and a place deeply tied to Inca spirituality. Everything here, from the stonework to the mountain alignments, was designed to connect the earthly world with the sacred. Circuit 3 takes you into the lower city, where daily life, ritual, and craftsmanship came together. Instead of looking down at Machu Picchu from the above, you walk through it. You see how space was organized. You feel how enclosed, protected, and deliberate this place really was. These terraces served agricultural purposes and also protected the place from erosion. So these terraces made it possible to build these buildings, these structures. Of course, the Incas were masters of moving water, and you see many canals and wells that still work today, 500 years later. The views are absolutely stunning, and these Inca wells never fail to amaze me. From Circuit 3 you are inside, you get inside these structures, and you have the best view of the Temple of the Sun, which was perhaps the most important temple in this whole complex. It is always a good idea to hire a guide. We had a guide who explained the history of the place. And here we are directly beneath the Temple of the Sun, with all these breathtaking views. Here is the Temple of the Sun, one of the most important structures you can see in Circuit 3. And here was a burial site. The guide explained to us that they were mummifying bodies here in this area. The Temple of the Sun was the most important temple. Its curved wall, fine stonework, and precise alignment tell us this wasn't just symbolic, it was scientific. During the solstice, sunlight would pass through a window here, making key moments in the Inca calendar. For the Incas, astronomy was an abstract. It governed agriculture, ritual, and political authority. One of the most remarkable facts about Machu Picchu is that most of what you don't see is what keeps it standing. More than half of the construction here is underground. Foundations, drainage, channels, and stone layers designed to manage rain and earthquakes. No mortar, no metal tools, and yet these stones have survived centuries of seismic activity. This wasn't trial and error, this was mastery. Machu Picchu was likely home to a few hundred people at most: priests, nobles, skilled workers, and attendants. Life here was structured, ritualized, and deeply connected to the environment. This was not isolation for isolation's sake. It was separation with purpose. Machu Picchu was abandoned by the Inca less than a century after it was built, around the time of the Spanish conquest. No one really knows why the site was abandoned. What is remarkable is that the Spanish never found it. There were no signs of battle here, no burning, no destruction. Its isolation became its protection. Here is the Temple of the Sun from the above. We can see the typical Inca wall that we have seen before, and it is just amazing how were they able to cut these stones so perfectly. They didn't know steel, they didn't know iron, and somehow they were able to cut these stones so perfectly and fit them together without the use of mortar. This area here, it was the Royal Palace, the most important area of Machu Picchu, and as a visitor of Circuit 3, you have the best access to this area, because visitors from Circuit 1 and 2, they do not have access here. That's why I was saying at the beginning that no one circuit is better than the other. Each circuit offers a unique perspective, and it is probably a good idea to visit on another occasion and specifically seek access to another circuit. I'm planning to come back here, no doubt about that, and I will be seeking a different circuit than 3 which I have already visited. Here we are still in the Royal Palace complex. This was the palace of the Emperor Pachacuti. These were the rooms that the emperors, the Incas, were inhabiting. See the precise stonework? This was no doubt the most important part of Machu Picchu. And here was the living room of the emperors, of the royals. And that area we are looking at now was allegedly the toilet. This was the living room in the royal palace. The only reason why Machu Picchu is so well preserved is that it was never discovered by the Spanish. The Spaniards, they tended to demolish the Inca structures and use the building materials, the stones, to build their own buildings. It was a way to show their dominance. They would use the Incas' material, the stones, to build their churches, monasteries, palaces, and mansions to show their dominance, the dominance of Christianity, the dominance of the Europeans over the indigenous population. Machu Picchu, because it was never found by the Spaniards, it was spared, so it is just such a stunning and well-preserved site. For nearly 400 years, Machu Picchu remained largely hidden, reclaimed by jungly vegetation. Of course, the local indigenous communities knew of its existence, but it was unknown to the outside world until 1911, when American historian Hiram Bingham brought Machu Picchu to international attention while searching for the last Inca stronghold. Although often called the site was discovered by Bingham, he was actually guided by local farmers, and he built on existing local knowledge.
Doing together? Together? Okay, go. Let's take it together, right?
Another look at the Temple of the Sun and the system of the wells and canals, and of course the surrounding Andes. The ever-present llamas and alpacas.
For many years.
And this is the three-window temple. It was another very important temple, and it is another example which you will not have access to on Circuit 3. I believe only Circuit 2 visitors can visit inside of that three-window temple. Just like Circuit 2 visitors will not have access to the Pachacuti Palace we just walked through. See these terraces? Wow. Every time I see it, I'm just amazed. How was it possible? How did they build it? So high on top of the mountain, the elevation. How were they carrying the stones? This was the main plaza of Machu Picchu. Major events would be taking place here.
This is the meeting place.
It all served like an arena, like gladiator arena of a sort. And these were residential areas. Like the condos, if you will. See, this is inside the dwelling we are looking at now. And as you can see, the stonework here is different from the stonework in the royal palace. It's not nearly as precise, the stones are not nearly as meticulously and perfectly cut here. Obviously this was not royal residence here, so the construction here in this area was much cheaper. There are several ways to get to Machu Picchu, but there is no road to get here. So you either take train, you can take train from Cusco, or some people take a bus or a car ride to town of Ollantaytambo and take train from Ollantaytambo, but you can also take the Inca Trail. So you still have to take the train, but you exit the train early, and instead of going all the way to Aguas Calientes, you exit the train early and you take this Inca Trail, which is 3 days hike. See these amazing views. But there is no easy way, there is only one way to get here. You still have to take the train, that's why the train ticket is very expensive, because there is no other way to get here. But me as a tourist, as a visitor, I have no problem to pay the steep price for the train ticket and for the entrance to Machu Picchu, because I know that the money goes at least in part to help this place preserved. Another highlight you will have access to while walking Circuit 3 is the Temple of the Condor. Here, the Inca shaped natural rock to resemble a condor, a sacred animal representing the upper world, the realm of the gods. What's extraordinary is how little carving was needed. The Inca didn't dominate the landscape, they collaborated with it. And this concludes our video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe, and check out my other videos depicting Cusco, Pisac, Ollantaytambo, and other sites in Peru. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.